Tanzi, Megan Byrne Nisikasan. Hi, my name is Megan Byrne. I'm a Métis game designer from Hamilton, Ontario, and I am the owner and operator of Akâmaskiy Games. So this project is actually the brainchild of myself and Malseat animator artist Tara Miller. We were like, we want to see a game that has an entirely Indigenous cast. We didn't want it to be in the past. Tara loved noir, so she loved that black and white feel, and I love the detective novels. I grew up on pulp fiction, but I don't want the player to have to do anything that's violent. I was really tired of these games that just had you do something violent in order to solve a problem. I was like, I want something that uses my brain. So that's how we kind of came onto this idea of let's do a sci-fi detective game. Hill Agency is the story of Megan Hill, who is a detective that lives on the sovereign nation of the ground. And one day, some dame busts in and is like, you gotta help me. And she's like, no. And then you're introduced to this amazing world of the ground, the risen city, and the floating palaces of the elite. And you get to explore what it's like to be in a future that has a fully sovereign nation, while also exploring what is it like at the end of colonialism. Because I always feel like at the very end, before the end, is the most interesting point, because that's when things get most dangerous. Because when an animal is wounded, it's most dangerous. And I kind of think, at least in this world, that the colonial system is like that. It's a wounded animal that's trying to get its power back. And it's just being resisted on all fronts, so it's going to try this one last gasp. So our schedule that we're asking for this $10,000 from Kickstarter for is for a 6-month development project that will create a polished version of our prototype that we can then use to get funding from other sources, whether that be government or industry. It's also something that we're going to use to take and try to get a publisher. So definitely the Kickstarter contribution kind of just sets us over that edge where we've got enough to make sure that we can definitely pay people for that first 6-month polished prototype part. I feel like this is something that a lot of Indigenous youth, and I mean probably even adults, are looking for. That they're looking for, is there a world that represents me, or at least is there a world that's trying to represent me in a good way? Is there a world that's speaking about a future that's not super awful? So for me, the major audience was sort of 18 to 40 and Indigenous. And then we've also got your sort of I really love detective games kind of players. So those are kind of our two audiences for this. This is something that I have been building for the last 3 years. So this entire world is something that I have been sitting with and growing and nurturing as a part of a team. So we've also have other members on the team that have been growing this space, because it's something that I really do want to share with other people, and I really want other people to be inspired by it and make fan art and get excited and write stories about being in this world. You are our main base, and you are our fans, and you are the ones that we want to make sure are rewarded, even if you don't hit donate. So if you really want to see Hill Agency happen, then hit that share button and let everyone in your social media circle know that this game is happening. But before you do that, hit donate and make sure that we can actually make this project happen.